Which state in Nigeria is known as the center of excellence?
Lagos.
Okay, let me get a little harder. The coal city.
I know,
City
Enugu.
state. Ah, I thought these were gonna be hard for you. God's own state.
I may not.
Yes. Okay, my Nigerian woman over there. What is Bayelsa known
I
as?
forgot. I will need to. It's even on our car number plate.
Blank of all lands.
Yes, the glory of all lands.
Okay, you
Sorry.
go, girl. Sunshine State.
Is it Niger? No. Sokoto?
Ondo.
Ondo? Why?
The big heart of the nation.
Big heart of the nation. Edo?
Delta.
No. Delta?
Yeah, that's what it
Why?
says. And our last one, the food basket nation.
I know this one. This one is Benue.
Benue. Okay. You're doing pretty well. How much was the dollar when you first got here?
180.
$1 for 180 naira. 180.
I'm telling 180 naira. Yes.
Oh God.
And now look. If you look at when I came, you could buy Snickers bar 120 naira. Now it's about like 10 times more, even a little bit. Like
Yeah, it's like
14-ish.
Yeah.
Yes. So kind of prices increased with as the dollar increased. But if you look at the salaries, for example, then doctor intern was receiving 180,000 naira, which was $1,000. Now their salary is not, even the consultant's salary is not up to $1,000.
Well-paid doctor at a public hospital is like $1 million, maybe.
It's a government hospitals, and the thing about Nigerian system is that everybody is paid flat salary. No matter how many calls you take, no matter if you work, maybe if you and I, you work as a medical the doctor in a clinic,
Yeah.
and I do surgeries. If we're on the same level, our salary is going to be.
I was just gonna say, like, what did your family at home? My family would want me to come home.
My father was ready to come to Nigeria. I know he's a policeman.
How did your husband react, like wanting to pivot? Like, did he, from that point, like, okay, Alex, you can't go out by yourself anymore, or like?
From the day I was released till the day we moved to Abuja, it took us less than 2 weeks. So I didn't even move out. I was always, I felt as if somebody's watching me all the time.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra Puduwe.
Guduwe.
Puduwe.
Buduwe.
Puduwe.
Kapuduwe.
Yeah, it's spelled KPU, but the way they pronounce it is that KP is like one sound. Puduwe.
Say it for me very slowly one more time.
Puduwe.
Puduwe.
Yes.
The K is silent.
It's not really silent.
Girl, Alex. Alex.
My husband would be laughing by now.
Yeah.
There's a way, this K and P, they make one sound. There's a way you have to put your tongue that it will be at the same time, like that kind of banging.
That dialect.
Sound, yeah.
And your husband is from?
He's from Bayelsa State.
Bayelsa State.
Yes.
Would that be considered a brother state to Delta?
Well, actually, he's from Delta. He was born in Delta, but with all the movements, because of his father's job, they settled down in Bayelsa, and that's where they claim their origin.
That's their new state of origin.
Yes.
What is his tribe?
Ijaw.
Ijaw. Okay, so he's a seaman.
No, that place is a Niger Delta, so there's a lot of rivers. And
Yeah.
I am from Belarus.
Belarus.
Yes, many people don't know the country. It used to be a part of the USSR. It's just next to Russia, between Russia and Ukraine.
I don't think I've ever heard of that country, Belarus.
Yes, they call it the last dictatorship in
Wow.
Europe. Yes, because
Close to like on the side of Ukraine.
Russia is in the north, Ukraine in the south, and then there's Poland, Lithuania, Latvia on this
Belarus, okay.
on this side. It's like in the middle. Yes, I was born there and grew up there.
Do you speak Russian?
The country has 2 official languages,
Okay.
Russian and Belarusian, but Belarusian is not so popular, but we do it in school, like Belarusian literature, Belarusian history, language, but it's not common among people.
No.
It's mostly like, some people speak it in the villages, but it's more like a mixture of Russian and Belarusian, like kind of pidgin. But there are also
like a
people,
hybrid.
yes,
Yeah.
that speak Belarusian, but many of them are considered like opposition to the government. I studied in Minsk State Linguistic University. I did English as my major, English education. Like I'm a teacher of English as a foreign language.
Wow.
Yeah, and my second language was Swedish. Yes, I also did Italian, but I'm not so good at it. I graduated from from Minsk State Linguistic University in 2010. School retained me. I worked there as a lecturer of the department, so I taught both English and Swedish. Then the same year I got married.
So your husband was in Belarus.
Yes, he was in Belarus.
It's so funny because people say like there's not a corner of the earth that a Nigerian has not been.
Yeah, he was there. He was doing medicine. He was on scholarship.
Wow.
From his government, yes.
Had you dated like non-Belarusian men before you dated him?
No, I haven't dated anybody before.
Aw, a fresh love scene. What attracted you to him?
Well, we don't have a romantic story to tell. It was just a nightclub.
I met my husband in a nightclub. Yeah, I think that's romantic.
You know, it was second year, my second year actually. Okay, he's second year too, but you know, because of the school, you know, medical school, they do
it's different.
A different thing.
Yeah.
So that was the year we were having our lectures in the afternoons, so we could afford
Get
to
out and
yes
get loose.
in the nights. So then R&B parties were very popular. Especially there were some clubs that would let girls in for free. Like
Ladies' nights.
Yes, you didn't have to pay. So we used to go to these R&B parties a lot, just to dance.
What was like your concept of African culture before meeting him? Like,
I can't say I am quite open-minded. I think I didn't have any prejudice or bias against any nationality. So there was a time, I even remember when I was a child, there was one series. She was a white girl that had an African-American friend, a friend like that. So I just really wanted...
I'm your African-American friend now.
I have a lot of them. Thank you.
It's me.
Yeah. I come from the place that was affected by Chernobyl nuclear power station accident.
Oh my God.
In 1986, there was an accident in April. So the place is actually in Ukraine, but it's very close to our border, about like 30 kilometers from Belarus. So a lot of that nuclear stuff was
spilling over.
Yeah, yes, it spilled and it was carried around the whole territory of Belarus. So a lot of children were affected. Then I was not born then. I was born a year after, but it was still very bad. So,
was there ever a time when you were staying in Belarus that you were like, I don't want to really live here forever?
As a child, at the age of 9, I went to Northern Ireland to stay with the family. So a lot of children were taken out of Belarus for like recreation. Some were going to Germany, Spain, Italy, Belgium, Ireland, and Northern Ireland. So my father made some arrangements for me. I was included in one of the groups. So I traveled to Northern Ireland. And then I fell in love with English, with foreign, with everything like not our own. So everybody has always...
Just like inquisitive.
Yes, everybody has always been saying that she will end up marrying a foreigner.
Yeah.
But nobody specified what kind of
foreign. Foreign.
What kind of foreigner I was going to get married to.
What attributes about him made you like, I can see myself marrying him? Like, I want to marry him.
We dated for 5 years.
That's long, damn.
From year 2, till his year 6.
So he graduated with his medical degree.
Yeah.
And then you guys got married after or before?
No, before.
Before?
Yeah.
What was the wedding like?
Very simple one. We didn't go big. We just did it. They lived in a hostel, so there was like a cafeteria there. So we did everything there. We actually went to the registry a day before. So the next day, our friends, relatives came for the party.
Okay. I know that when I married my husband, some people were like, girl, you need to make sure he's not just trying to get citizenship. Was that a thing? Like, were there naysayers and haters?
That's what was my father was thinking. That's what he wants. But my husband never had plans of staying in Belarus.
You guys always knew you would come back to Nigeria?
Yes.
Had you visited Nigeria before you guys got married?
I haven't actually, but there was one forum on internet, Africa in Russian, something like if I translate the name. So there were different people discussing different African countries, not only Nigeria, just generally. Some of them were married to African men, some of them were expats, like doing businesses here or working for companies. So When I started dating my husband, I started reading forum. Oh, it's actually a forum. We'll discuss all sorts of things. So it was as if I had already been here.
Really?
Yes.
I'm surprised still some days about.
No, yeah, I can't say that I'm not, but I think I expect changes. Maybe I expect some things from people.
You knew it wasn't going to be the same as Belarus.
I was ready for not having the things the way I am used to.
Yeah. What made him not want to just practice medicine in Belarus? Like, did you ask him, why can't we just stay here?
To tell the truth, I have never asked then at that time. He was living, because he was on scholarship from the government. There was no particular bond or agreement that they had to come back. But in his mind, he also wanted to come back and be useful to the country. And then being a doctor in Nigeria was very promising, like good salaries, respect and everything. Then salaries were actually big, even in comparison to where I come from.
Wow.
Yes, but now with the dollar exchange rate and other things, salaries have not increased. Very difficult, even to complete the whole education, like to become a consultant, to do the residency, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time.
Well, I think that's super admirable for him to want to come back and participate in healthcare in the country, because a lot of people abandon.
I think it maybe has been like, not a dream, but maybe a vow or something he made to his country. But I still think that maybe we were not aware of other possibilities. I think we were not.
It's not too late, though. You never know.
It's not late. He actually has a license to practice in the UK.
Wow.
Yes, but moving to other countries like Canada or the US is difficult, because when you get there, you'll have to start everything all over. I gave birth to my first son when I was still in Belarus, a few months before my husband left for Nigeria. The second daughter, I got pregnant when I was in Nigeria, but I went home to give birth. Felt that it was safer. Even
with him being a doctor?
I just wanted it that way.
I think also you were in Bayelsa.
Bayelsa.
I think that the healthcare outside of Abuja and Lagos is totally different, I think, from what I've heard mothers say.
Yeah, I guess so. But because of him being a doctor, we never experienced any issues. But whenever we get to the hospital, we're always taken good care of.
Yeah.
They always see us first, because usually like staff spouse, yes.
You get the VIP treatment.
Yes, kind of. But because from my third child, I gave birth to him in Abuja.
You leave Belarus, you land in Bayelsa.
Yeah, we actually landed in Lagos. Then we landed in Lagos late at night with a family friend, because he also got married and he was coming back to Nigeria. So we joined him. We came back together. So it will be kind of easier for me, because I was traveling with my son, who was less than 1 year old then, and this our friend. So we landed in Lagos. We went to his relative's place. We slept there overnight. I woke up in the morning. Noise, rooster. The sun shining so brightly. It was May. It was actually rainy season then. Everything was kind of funny. The smell of Milo and milk, the bread, the local bread. I think that's still...
Agege.
That's still like...
Yeah.
There. I can still feel it sometimes, that smell.
And then you went to Bayelsa.
Bayelsa, yes. Well, actually, no, Bayelsa, they didn't have airport there, so we landed in Port Harcourt.
Wow. And drove to Bayelsa.
Yeah, my husband then came to meet me.
What was your transition like? Where were you mentally? Was it an easy transition?
I think then that first year I was just ready for everything. I was ready for not having light, for not having water, for all the bad things that can happen to you in Nigeria. A good thing that was then is that we had a car, but we didn't have a gen, we didn't have a washing machine. I was cooking on camp gas.
Yeah,
with
those
one.
Things come slow.
There was nowhere to play with the child. You know how in our country it's very easy to just go out, go to any compound, not this kind of private compound, parks everywhere, because we have this multi-story building, so every building has its own own playground for children. So a lot of ways to occupy yourself. But here, you're just on your own. You're just on your own. And though I brought books, I brought some toys and everything. And the compound we stayed in was very small. It was a small flat, small compound with a lot of flats there. So I think we were the first people to even start coming out to play outside.
What is that? What was the reaction of people in town? Like, were there a lot of white people, or were you kind of, oh my God, she's white, hello? Like,
even if they see white people, they still react like that. But that place there's a Niger Delta, a lot of gas, a lot of oil. So there used to be a lot of foreigners. There was a Hyundai company, Shell, other Chinese companies, Italian companies. So the foreigners there were many, not like, you cannot see them in town like in Abuja, but sometimes in supermarkets because they usually live in camp. They have everything there. They even have their own supermarkets. But there was one Russian lady. Her husband both of them were doctors, medical doctors. I think she moved to Nigeria in 1980 something.
Wow.
Yes.
So she was a vet.
My husband had always been telling me about her, that there's somebody. And then there was one Ukrainian lady there too.
And they kind of like brought you in?
We met with her, then she invited invited me to her house. And then I was okay, so this is how people can actually live.
Yeah.
Because I think that everybody lives modest, in a modest way, just economizing on everything, but they lived well. My husband was the first medical director of the Federal Medical Center in Yenagoa.
Wow.
He was the commissioner for health too. They had gone quite a long way because they started from scratch also.
Everything takes time here. And that's what I tell wives all the time. Like, you guys might start off with no gin. I hope next year you'll have an inverter. Just go slow, Just go slow.
But it takes patience. It takes a lot of patience and understanding and ability to just forget about not really forget, but...
Did you have a traditional wedding once you guys got here?
No, we didn't.
No? Have you wanted one?
Not really.
No? I know that you said within that first year you were like really prepared, kind of calm, but what was just like, I've never seen this, heard of this. So I like to share, my in-laws like actually hated that I didn't greet properly, but I just don't know better. I just, hey, hi.
My husband has told me a few times that, do you see how people greet you? They will wave, they will shout, they will smile, and you're just saying good afternoon. But that's me.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. And we are Slavic. That's how we are.
Yeah.
Till we don't smile, we don't really get close to people till we are really close to people.
Yeah.
So to say good afternoon, it was okay for me, or just to greet. Now, of course, like say, oh, madam, how are you doing? How are the family? Because that small talk, for me, is not always necessary.
I think Europeans in general, y'all just don't do the small talk. Yeah. How's family? How's children?
How's Oga?
Yeah, like it becomes very long.
Oh, especially them asking in the morning, how was your sleep? How was your night? Like, what? Is it not true?
Yeah.
What kind of questions? Then them saying, for example, maybe my husband's family members there were not many in that town, but there are a few sisters, and there was one cousin that got really close to us. So she would maybe come today and say, okay, tomorrow. And tomorrow you wake up and you are expecting her to come, but she would not come. So most of the time that tomorrow doesn't mean tomorrow. It means some other time. Yeah. So that was a bit difficult for me, because when I say something, I mean it, but for them, it's not always like this.
Did your husband eventually start learning your language?
He speaks Russian.
Very much.
Yes, he did his course in Russian.
Wow.
Yes. When they got there, they did a language course for like 6 months.
What do you speak most in your household?
Mostly English. I'm trying to speak Russian as much as possible with my children. Mm-hmm. My eldest son speaks very well, and he reads too. My daughter, there was a time we had to stop speaking Russian to her because she had language delay, but she understands well. When we travel, she picks up fast. And
do you speak Pidgin?
When I go to market, maybe some keke drivers, some local people, yes, but I can.
Did you start off cooking Belarusian meals for your husband, or?
My husband is quite open to taste different things.
His favorite Belarusian meal.
Today for breakfast I made millet porridge. There is millet in Nigeria, but it's not refined millet. It's like black. It still has that cover on top. So the one I sometimes bring this from. If I travel, I bring it. It's like rice, but more round.
Okay.
It's yellow in color. So you cook it and add milk, sugar.
Kind of like the way they do pop.
Yes. But it's not that starchy like. It's like rice like. You know, there are pieces of.
Kind of like cream of wheat.
He likes buckwheat. I know buckwheat. They have buckwheat in other countries too, but most of it is green. In our place, it is brown. It is like I don't know whether they fry it or they roast it. So buckwheat also porridge. Most of the foods that I bring is cheese because here it's very expensive. Prices are too high. So I bring cheese. I bring like salamis.
Okay.
Because our country is very, very popular for this. They import it to other countries too. I bring different confectionery sweets, different waffles, different stuff like that for children too. I bring coffee, I bring tea.
Yeah, I know your bag is probably packed.
Yes, they are.
Who taught you how to make Nigerian food?
Me, I like exploring things and I don't like depending on people. So most of the time it would be either internet. A few times I asked my neighbors how. I know when we lived in Bayelsa, I used to cook beans and plantain together, like beans porridge or plantain porridge.
Yeah.
Then where my husband is from, they cook kikefiai, which is plantain porridge, unripe plantain with palm oil, red palm oil.
Okay.
Not the bad oil.
My mouth is watering. That's actually like my favorite.
A lot of fish and pepper soup.
What drove you guys from Bayelsa to Abuja?
My husband was doing residency in surgery. He wanted to specialize in neurosurgery.
Wow.
Yeah, by the time we moved to Abuja, he had done his part 1, because residency usually has 2 parts. Part 1, that is a general surgery, and then he wanted to specialize. So there were a few places where he could do it, and one of them was Abuja. So that was one of the reasons. And second reason was the security issues. We experienced some challenges. I was kidnapped, so it kind of fast-forwarded.
I want to unpack this because it's really, I think it's a sensitive, and I appreciate you for opening up. I think it's a sensitive topic because you don't want to be stereotypical. And even me, so me as a foreigner, or I never want to be oh my God, am I going to get kidnapped because I'm a foreigner? So you try to be positive, I'm sure throughout that time you said you were moving freely, walking around, because some people might even, I've seen a lot of foreigners who come and automatically assume the worst and don't move freely at all. Or always feel like they have to have somebody with them from the beginning.
My husband, as a medical doctor, he was doing house job then, housemanship. He was very busy. He was on call almost 24/7. And I couldn't wait for him to come and do things for me. So I had to start going to market myself, shopping. Then when our son started school, I started working actually even before he started school. So I had to do all these things. I couldn't just be sitting there waiting for
because
him.
A lot of women don't. I think even a lot of Nigerians who come back, it's not just even white, black.
They don't.
A lot of people do not move freely at all. So I think that even just shows your openness, independence, So it really sucks. I think insecurity, I know mainly people have told me your foreigners are the least likely to get kidnapped. Really a lot of Nigerians get kidnapped.
Yeah, maybe the people that did it, they didn't really do proper research.
Yeah.
On me, I don't know. Maybe just they saw a white face and they thought that's where it is.
Yeah.
But
I don't even want to get into details because I don't want to re-traumatize you. Because I think that it's pretty traumatizing.
Yeah, sometimes I still wake up at night thinking, what if it happens again? I'm even afraid because I'm afraid not even for myself, but for my parents, for my children. I wouldn't even step out of the car.
Have you felt safer in Abuja?
I think the first time I wasn't moving even about by myself for a while, but then I had to because I started working in NTIC, Nigerian Turkish international school.
Yeah.
Colleges, they call it colleges. So I had to start moving around.
So let's talk about that with employment. You got your Nigerwife card.
Yes.
Which allows you to work.
Yes.
Have you been here long enough to be a citizen?
I don't know. I've been here since 2012, which is 13 years.
Oh my God.
Already going to 14. So I don't really know if I'm eligible, but I can't. I don't think I'm interested. I didn't really. In our place, when you give birth to a child, they give you 3 years maternity leave.
Okay.
You don't keep on receiving your salary, but there is particular baby allowance they pay you. It's not much, but it allows women to stay at home, take care of the child, bring it up to
enough.
Yes, when the child is more or less mature to start all these early years, school, whatever. Here it's not like this, and I felt like my husband also was always supportive of me having my own career, developing myself, and all of that. So since
using your degree?
Yes, using my degree. So since I have my, now the system has changed, but then my first degree was 5 years, and it's not really a bachelor's degree, it's like specialist diploma. It's more than bachelor's, but not up to master's level.
Okay.
So when I got here to Bayelsa, I got my, what do you call it, Serpak, right? And then we started looking for a job. So the place where we lived was the state of the former president, Goodluck Jonathan. So then when he was the president, he opened 12 federal universities. So one of the universities was in his hometown, which is in Bayelsa State, Otueke. So we went there, we applied, they did interview for me. They were looking at me like, what is she talking about? Which 5 years? Because in the translation it says National Diploma of Higher Education.
Okay.
And for them, National Diploma is not a university level.
Okay.
So the way it was translated didn't ring any bell to them. Like it was like, what is she coming to do in a university? But somehow I still got the job. I was a graduate assistant.
Wow.
They employed me as a graduate assistant in the Department of English and Communication Studies.
Wow.
I wasn't doing anything. I was mostly going for lectures of other lecturers, and I was doing exams and officers' job. Okay. I was recording the exam scores. Then they didn't have the system to calculate GPAs. I was doing it all manually. And after almost a year, I took a study leave and I went back home to do my master's. I came in June, I did my entrance exams, and I started the program.
Did you take your children?
Then I had just my son. He was 2 years old and I still had 1 year maternity leave. So I couldn't be on maternity leave and do the program. So my mom, it's possible. So since I cannot do it, since I'm doing a full-time program, she went on maternity leave instead of me. So she spent almost a whole year. We were in different cities.
Yeah.
It was like 300 kilometers away. So I would go to Minsk, which is the capital, to do my program over the week. Then I would go back home. Every Friday night, I would take the night train. It was kind of stressful.
Were you ever like, I'm not going back to Nigeria, actually. I'm just going to stay here?
At that time, I don't think I was. I have a very high sense of responsibility, I think. So both my husband, the working place, because I actually, during my program, I had to go back to Nigeria because they stopped paying my salary. So I had to go back, rectify a few things. I still came back to Belarus to complete my program. So when I got back to Nigeria, they promoted me to assistant lecturer, like the second step after graduate assistant. But I was still doing the exams and records. I had to enroll into a PhD program because in universities in Nigeria, you cannot progress if you don't
have a doctorate.
Doctorate degree. So I had to, there were options of me maybe getting admission in the UK and getting a scholarship because of the family and everything. Because by that time I had already given birth to my second child. I had to go for school in Nigeria. So I went to Port Harcourt University. University of Port Harcourt, yes. Well, in Nigeria, there are strikes, some other issues that may affect your program. So you may end up, instead of doing 4 years, you'll end up doing 5 or even 6 years.
Okay, so more strict program. maybe.
Strike.
No, I'm saying, was it more strict? Like easier to get a strike and then you have to. Oh, okay. When you say strikes, you mean like the whole school is shutting down.
Yes.
I thought you meant like a badge, like a
No.
marker.
No,
like, I've heard about that.
The whole school will go on strike.
I've heard about that.
Yes, we'll not go back to school for like 6 months. It's become more rare, but...
Do you know Ijal?
Language? When we were in Bayelsa, I heard it more often. I can pick some pieces.
What advice would you give people in intercultural relationships as far as just like easily assimilating into being married to someone who is different?
Well, I think it works when two people are ready to make a few accommodations, because if one person is constantly trying to please the other person, agree to the way he or she is used to doing things, the person that is doing it will end up not being satisfied. A lot of talking before marriage, looking at possible issues. What if I get sick? What if I don't get a job? What if this? What if your parents? Like looking at scenarios so that you understand where both of you are looking at. Because by the time you face those things, you may be surprised negatively.
That is really wise. A lot of premarital, like laying everything
because
out.
You think you love, you can agree to so many things, but when you grow up. When you're mature, you understand that you've done so much, but the other partner maybe did not really notice it or did not appreciate it, did not acknowledge it. So you end up being like, so what have I always been doing this? And now I end up not having the things that I have always wanted to have. You will even forget what you had always wanted.
Goal, lose yourself.
Yes, lose yourself, kind of.
You felt like you have lost yourself in the process of being a mom, living here in Nigeria, all these things?
I think so, yes, because sometimes if I open my old Pinterest account and I see the things I have been tagging, I was like, seriously, are these the things I used to enjoy and I used to like and I used to look forward to? So I think this will be my year of looking back at myself again.
Focusing on yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And trying to...
It's easier as your kids get older.
I think yes. And I'm trying to make myself believe that when we give birth to children, they come into our lives, and it's not we that always have to accommodate their likes and everything. They also too have to adjust themselves to the way we find it comfortable. I'm the type of person that likes pleasing, so I think, but I don't always please myself. So I think
that's a good goal to start off with. How have you seen Nigeria change since you've been here?
We lived in Bayelsa, and Bayelsa is a lot different from Abuja. I first came to Abuja. We moved to Bayelsa in 2012, and I came to Abuja in 2018. I was traveling home then, and I was really surprised. I didn't know that this country could be like this. Of course, now when I live in Abuja, I already get used to it and don't see any particular thing. What was I amazed with so much? But Nigeria is changing. It's changing. But no, everybody's saying that the economy is bad.
Have your children ever come to you like, hey, mommy, I don't want to live here anymore. Let's move somewhere else?
Yeah, after journeys to my place, they always tell me that they want to go back. I also want to go back at times, but I still think about my children because I'm not sure they're going to be so comfortable.
Why?
There. The difference in complexion and all of that may affect. I'm not sure that it is.
Like it's too up in the air.
Yeah.
Is there not a lot of diversity in Belarus, or are you just
with a lot of students, Belarus is kind of a diverse country in terms of nationalities. It has always been like that. A lot of people from Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, all those neighboring countries, even Muslim. And we have two main religions, Catholic and Russian Orthodox. So there has been diversity. But Belarusians are generally considered to be tolerant people.
But I still think don't want to
children
risk.
Yes, I don't want. I'm afraid of that kind of trauma.
Do you think that they I don't know, so I'm genuinely asking, do they get like treated weird or differently being like half caste?
Where, in Belarus?
Here.
Here, they're even sometimes given more preference.
Okay.
Or when my daughter does funny things, she's looked at as if she's not a Nigerian, she's different, she's little, so she is allowed to do those things. They don't notice them.
Do you take the term Oyimbo offensively? Saying it correctly.
Oyibo? It depends. It depends, but when I'm outside and somebody calls me like that, I'm not going to reply or answer.
Just keep moving.
Yeah.
Do you go to the market by yourself, or do you send somebody
I used to, but I stopped. I can sometimes. Even now, as I'm going back home, I'm thinking of dropping by the market. I need to buy a few things to cook dinner, and there's nobody to help me out. So I will do that. I do when there's need. My husband needs to stay with us.
Okay.
So she does that.
That's a help. How did you find the Nigerwives here in Abuja?
I think that's what I had always been looking forward to, having a community of women.
Yeah.
Because I have always been hearing about them, but since I lived in Bayelsa, we didn't have the chapter in Port Harcourt.
Okay.
But I have never attended their meetings or branches. So when I came here, the first time they had the meeting, I came. I enjoyed it. I like when different ladies come together, share the experiences. It can also be encouraging when you hear different stories. Sometimes when you get engrossed into your own issues, you think that there's no way out.
Yeah.
That your problems are maybe the biggest or the worst. But when you come out, you see other people's experiences, you see what other people face. So you feel like you're not alone.
Do you feel like you have friends here?
It's kind of difficult for me really difficult, but it takes time for me to get close to somebody. Yeah, I have some Russian speaking. Each period of my life, there was a friend. When I was in Bayelsa, there was a Nigerian lady there. We were very close friends. Our children were friends. They went to the same school. We were helping each other. So then when I moved to Abuja too, there was a neighbor. She's a Muslim. She moved to another state now. We also got very close. Yeah, so then later on, when I started working in ICS, I also got somebody that became my friend. I don't even know how it happened. Our children are in the same class. They even have the same birthdays.
Just seasons.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So there's at a particular moment there's somebody there that.
Have you kept in contact with your friends from Belarus?
Some of them they moved to other countries, like the U.S. There's my friend there. I keep in touch with her. Some of my secondary school classmates. It's usually when I get home we meet.
Have your family members come to Nigeria?
No, they haven't.
Why?
I don't think we had means to accommodate them.
Okay. Yeah, it becomes a lot.
It's a lot, and then, when our parents have particular expectations of the way you're supposed to live, of the way your house is supposed to be, and all of that. So I don't feel really comfortable bringing them to where I am now.
What are some things that you think that people misunderstand about white women or foreign women in Nigeria?
Always, that thing has been really annoying me. Behave like an African woman.
Like when they say that?
You can work hard like an African woman.
Yeah, it's kind of offensive. Like, so you think you're the only person who works hard?
You can work like this? For goodness sake, our women, we stay in our houses, we give birth to children. Nobody's there to help us.
Yeah.
Day and night, twins, triplets, children with 1 year's difference in age. We are there by ourselves. There's no help. I understand that life, even though sometimes they ask, what is more difficult? Is it not maybe, but cooking Nigerian food is a big issue. Like, preserving the food, making sure that the things don't, because you think that you fix this thing today, everything is okay. Tomorrow you wake up, there's another thing leaking, or something else has broken. So every day there's something for you that you need to solve. You think that you are calling a specialist to come and fix it, but they end up doing like
damage.
Very bad.
And it's worse.
And you
than
pay
when
money,
you
and
met
you pay
them.
money for it. Not like they do it for free. You're just standing there and looking at it. They will put something, it's not straight. This one is leaking. That one is, the glue is showing.
How do you teach your children to identify?
That's a difficult question. My husband has always said they have to have a sense of belonging. I always want them to know my side too. Important, and I feel like my daughter is more Nigerian in the way she behaves, the way she talks, the way she reacts to things, even the things that she likes. My eldest son, Belarusian, in in his attitudes, maybe his not really character, maybe the way he behaves, presents himself, all of that. I think I agree with my husband that let them better have something that they can relate to. Even if it is Nigerian, let it be Nigerian.
How have you felt more empowered as a woman living here?
Actually, I think the Nigerian women, they have a lot of power. Even the other day we were discussing with my husband that he was saying that he was talking about America. I'm not sure that women in Nigeria have always had their rights, kind of. He's not talking about culture where girls are maybe oppressed when they don't go to school, but generally Nigerian women, they always had opportunities to work, to express themselves, to even vote. Like,
I love that.
Yeah, so I think that Nigerian women are encouraging. They're not afraid to try things. Even sometimes, even if they're not sure of themselves, they will still do it. Like they face their fears. Me, on the other hand, I'm very not confident.
Why?
I don't know. People keep on telling me that, because even at work, people keep on telling me, but you can try it. You can be this. You can be that. And I'm always afraid. I always feel like I don't know enough.
Like, so maybe hesitant.
Yes.
Not that you're not confident, but you just feel hesitant. Is it the environment, maybe, that's
no, I think it's just my nature.
Your nature?
Yeah.
What would be your dream for yourself here in Nigeria if you were not teaching? Like, what type of business?
I'm always thinking about this because, salary cannot really make you rich.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of maybe opening something of my own, like creche, maybe developing it into...
Sweetie, you need to capitalize off the fact that you're white, to be honest. And this is me just being real with you. You are white, beautiful, well-spoken. Unfortunately, but not unfortunately, a lot of people love the opposite. So, like, I've even had people here like, can you teach my daughter like how to speak like you? Or, oh my God, I love your accent. And I'm like, what is so cool about my accent? Because it's not Nigerian, you know?
I know about this, but at the same time, I don't want, many people have told me that even if you open a shop or something, people will just be coming to you because you're white. But I don't really want to believe this. I also...
Girl, it's the truth. But it makes it better for you because you actually have the credit. So it's not like you're not qualified in doing that. Do you get what I'm saying? You're just benefiting, but you also are qualified. So even if you were a Nigerian woman, at the end of the day, you are a great educator. You're educated. You know how to, you know these things. You're not just, I'm white, come here.
I understand.
You get?
It's not just the yes. I have something
qualified
to back it up, not just the...
Yeah, so that's just like the packaging. Mm-hmm. You being white.
Yes, I know. Nigeria, they know how to package themselves. At the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, am I here forever?
Are you? That was one of my questions on my... Are you here? Is Nigeria home?
I still say that when I'm traveling, I'm still saying I'm going home.
Yeah.
So, but when I get there for the first few days, I'm just like, oh, what am I doing here? All these things is just... There's something in Nigeria that makes you want to go back. I want to go and become a second-class citizen somewhere else.
Yeah.
But Nigeria, the thing I'm always thinking about this, that Nigeria is good as long as everything is good. When something happens to you, like an accident, an emergency, you're on your own.
Yeah.
There's nothing to help you. Like, even this accident that happened with this boxer, and that nobody came there to help them. It was all these passers-by that were there.
So you kind of align yourself probably with the Russian community here.
There is a community, but we have not really been meeting a lot. We do sometimes, maybe for New Year, because New Year is a bigger celebration for us than Christmas.
Okay.
Due to some religious traditions from the USSR.
Yeah.
Then there are a few just people that you're closer to. The Russian embassy is very big. Mm-hmm. Then there are other people, apart from only Russian citizens, there are also those from Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. All of them are Russian speaking. Belarusians, then there's some Ukrainians too. They still belong to that group. Some of them have left. But yeah, it's quite big.
As a traveler, would you recommend me even going to visit Belarus or?
I don't know, but when I get to Belarus, I think I've never seen the sky the way it is in Belarus. Oh. Belarus is a quiet, It has interesting places. It is cheap for foreigners. It is very clean. You can
What
try.
is your favorite thing about Nigeria?
Facing challenges with a smile.
So like learning resilience.
Yes, then
Okay.
being Nigerians are patient. They can endure for a long time inconveniences, so that by the end they can get good results or
like prevailing.
Yes.
Okay.
Then when you see me, you know that something is wrong.
Okay.
But when you see Nigerian, you don't even know what is happening to them.
Yeah.
They always have that packaging.
Composure.
Yes, they always look good. The face, the makeup, everything.
Yeah.
You don't even know what is happening.
Honey, these women are slaying, especially in Lagos. I feel like such a bum. I do not like dressing too much, to be honest.
Even me.
I'm a very I just started feeling forced to put makeup on just so my husband doesn't think I'm a beast compared to other people when we're walking around. No, seriously, because a lot of women, especially here in Abuja, like dressing very...
But do you know that when I worked in the university then in Bayelsa, there are many women that will be dressing up nicely and will be buying clothes every month, but they do it on credit. They like...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't mean money. Even here in Abuja, they say, oh, these men with G-Wagons and all these things, many are homeless.
Yes, that's it. The other day like, in Bayelsa, I went to one wedding. I saw a lady. She was so well dressed. She had good makeup. She was like, wow. But I was looking at her face and thinking, I know her. Because by the time they put on different hair, then they put on makeup, you will not recognize. You know that you know them, but not really different. She was a neighbor living in this bacha house. Bacha is made from this zinc.
Like a hut.
Yes,
not a hut,
yes,
but
yes.
like where they sell like the market things.
Yes,
under.
yes. That's where she lives. But when you saw her at the wedding, you would think that,
she lived in my tama. What can we help and support you in?
UN?
Like you in.
No, I don't have any business.
No. Yet,
yes. Actually, I had some side hustle last year. I was doing translations for our embassy.
I love that.
Yeah, but it was keeping me afloat, should I say?
Okay.
Because Nigerian salaries are not so friendly.
No.
Yeah, so I still do this. I translate mainly Russian, English, Russian, but I can also do Ukrainian. It's kind of, but...
Would you ever do like family vlogging? Like, do you watch that type of stuff?
Actually, because the way I am, just as I'm shy and all of that, I've always wanted having a blog or something.
People love to watch. You live an extraordinary life. That's what I always say. You're different. People want to watch you because you are a foreigner who left their country to go to your husband's country that's completely different. You're working. You're like actually more of a chill Oyimbo than others.
Not Oyibo, sorry.
Oyibo. You're more of a chill one because you actually like work.
I work, yes.
Yeah, you work amongst, like you're in the streets essentially versus some who are very like super sheltered.
At home, yeah.
Yeah, you do your thing, girl. You're out here. You're outside.
Thank you.
So I think that is something that you should like be proud to share and encourage. And if you're not into that, at least like let your daughter, because she lives a very different life too. She's best of both worlds. My mom does this, my dad does this. I live here, but I travel here. It's a vibe. It's a vibe all the time for her.
So maybe I will use AI to help me plan.
Girl, use AI. Well, thank you so much for opening up and sharing your story.
Thank you.
And I love building community, and I thank you for being a part of my community.
Thank you.